Hi everyone, my name is Lauren and I'm a counsellor at the City of Glasgow College. Today, my colleague Richard and I are going to talk to you about what counselling is exactly.
Yeah, hi everyone. Happy to be here with Lauren, and interesting to talk about what we do for a job. So we are both counsellors here at City of Glasgow. One of the things I was thinking about earlier was, what is counselling and why do people come to counselling? So what brings people to counselling? So in my experience, people come to counselling because they're feeling under pressure. Now, that pressure could be coming from events happening in their life, situations. It could be coming from relationships in their life, including the relationship with themselves, not just with other people. And in some way, that relationship or that situation, the pressure has become hard for them to cope with. So they're feeling the effects of that. They're feeling the stress. That could be causing anxiety. It could be causing low mood. It could be getting in the way of them sort of living their lives in the way that they would like to live their lives, in the way that perhaps they normally do. It can really be impacting on their health and their well-being, and it can be making them feel unhappy. So these are all things that we can relate to, but how, Lauren, can counselling help with these things? How can they help someone in that position?
Well, I think defining what counselling is can be quite a difficult thing, and I think a lot of people have maybe wondered the answer to that question. Counselling is very dependent of what you get out of it and can be quite hard to find. So the kind of things you can expect from your counsellor are firstly a confidential space. So that means that your counsellor can't discuss what you talk about during your sessions unless you disclose that you or someone else may be at risk of harm. And when you start counselling at the City of Glasgow College, we send you over a copy of our counselling agreement so that you can read over it and sign it. And if there's any kind of issues that you have with that, we can talk about it. The next thing that you can expect from your counsellor is a place of non-judgment. So we're not here to give you advice. We're not here to tell you what the right or wrong things to do. But quite often the space of counselling can be used to reflect on the difficulties you're having. Some people feel quite reassured by the fact that, counsellors aren't in their immediate circle. So, it's not the same as perhaps having a conversation with someone like your friend or a family member who might have, an emotional connection to what you're saying. So there's some distance between your world and the counsellor's world as well. Also, you can expect honesty. So in order to preserve the counselling relationship, we try and be open and honest with our clients while still obviously remain as professional as possible. And empathy as well. So our main role is to try and understand what you're going through. So we can never fully understand your perspective because obviously you have different experiences, different thoughts and feelings. But what we're here to do is really attempt to, hear what you're trying to say and empathize as far as possible with what's going on for you. So both the counsellor and the student will bring their own kind of personality to the experience of counselling. So it's really different from person to person. And if you go to counselling more than once, for example, if you went to counselling for me, it would be different than if you went to counselling with Richard. So you might get different things out of sessions due to your unique relationship. But despite this, all the kind of professional ethics and expectations should still be kind of there, no matter what counsellor you see. So I think that, coming to counselling can be quite a daunting experience because there's that kind of openness in counselling with the fact that, it's a space for you to bring in what you want to and what's affecting you, and that can be quite difficult to talk about.
Yeah, I think that's really true. I think people can expect to feel uncomfortable in counselling. So it's not that that's their intention, because we're there to be warm and we're there to listen and we're there to care and be supportive. But people come because they're having a hard time. So normally they feel uncomfortable, and then kind of facing or talking about what it is that makes them feel uncomfortable, certainly initially, can be quite challenging. Mm-hmm. And of course, any change that happens for us in our life that's meaningful to us and that makes a real difference always comes with a sense of challenge and a sense of vulnerability, because that's how we grow as people. But the important thing is that you're not on your own. You have the counsellor with you to support you in that process, on that journey, and help you find your way with it. And I think sometimes it can help people listen to themselves in ways that, you know, they wouldn't be able to otherwise. So it can help them see and hear things about themselves and about their situation that shines a different kind of light on it. And that can help create space for them to maybe look at it in a different way that's more helpful to them, or even take actions that might help address the situation and support them to do that, things that they didn't feel capable of doing before. So it's really about helping to grow a person's capacity to understand themselves, understand what's going on in their life, and if they want to do something to change and make changes for themselves.
Absolutely, and I think it's a really good way of putting it, Richard. It's a space for someone to sort of be listened to. And actually in life, quite often when we're kind of having a conversation with a family member or a friend, there might be different expectations on this conversation around fixing things, or perhaps giving advice, saying things like, you know, if I were you, I would do this. And that can kind of muddy the waters of someone's own reflection, or get into the root of how they genuinely feel about a situation. And obviously, there are some FAQs on our website at My City, which also kind of expand on what we've been talking about today, and some common questions in counselling as well. I don't know if you've got anything else to add, Richard, or anything you would like to say?
No, I think one of the things I do notice is that people worry about not knowing what to do in counselling. Do you know, like, so I'm not sure what to say, or I'm not sure what to do. Well, the reason you might come to counselling is because you're not sure what to do. I guess if you had a sense
stuck.
of, yeah, you're stuck. And stuckness is something that probably everyone who comes to counselling is dealing with. So we're very used to that. And I guess counselling is a space and a relationship that can really help you become unstuck and find a way to free yourself up again and start moving again in your life, and places where you feel, you know, really kind of held down. So don't worry about stuckness. Yeah. And
kind of sitting there with not actually having the answers or not knowing what to say can be really important as well, because I think in life there is this pressure of, you know, coming somewhere with an agenda or coming with the answers, but actually the whole point of counselling is not knowing, or, you know, not being sure about things. So that can be a space for you to kind of sit with that kind of uncomfortability, which, as you said, can make you feel quite vulnerable, but can actually help you get to the root of what's troubling you.
Yeah. And once again, they're always going to be, you know, we're always going to be with you in the counselling room, in the space, in the relationship to help you with that. And that can make a huge difference for people.
Absolutely, absolutely. So if you're sitting here watching this and thinking that you would like to get some mental health support, you can go onto My City, click on apps, bookings, and scroll down to wellbeing assessment, where either myself or Richard or our colleague Heather and Kirsty will be able to chat to you about the best support options, and whether we'll be able to see you for counselling in the college, or perhaps signpost you to another organisation as well. So thank you so much, Richard.
No problem. Thanks, Lauren.